from Baker, communities and schools of the Appalachian Islands. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Mayor, council members, I want to thank you for allowing me an opportunity to speak with you tonight. My name again is Ron Baker. Just want to introduce myself briefly. I know you got a very heavy agenda for here and whatnot, but more importantly, I want to speak with you about the nonprofit organization that I now serve and that is also served in Smith County. I've been with communities and schools of Appalachian Islands for the past 3 years. My background is education. I spent 33 years in education. The last 5 of those years, I served as principal at Chilhowie High School. So I've become not only very familiar with Smith County, but I've become very fond of Smith County. I was telling this wife earlier before that it came down to the meeting, just what type of quality people that I found in both of my endeavors in your county. And again, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. I contacted Mr. King, I guess about a month ago, and asked if I could come before council, not to introduce myself or give you more of the background of what I've done, if you will, but again, more importantly, to introduce and to inform you of some of the work that our outstanding men and women are building for the county. Ms. White has passed out a packet that I provided to each of you. And before I go into that packet, again, I won't take up a lot of your time. I'm not going to read to you tonight, but I do want to share just a little bit of some of the history of who we are and what we do. As I said, we are a nonprofit organization. We are housed in Bristol, Virginia, and we have served Southwest Virginia and East Tennessee for the past 12 years. We are currently, when I came on board with the nonprofit after I retired again from Chilhowie, my role at that time was to help expand and to help grow and to get into as many school districts in Southwest Virginia as we possibly could. At that time, we were only serving the children at Marion Middle School in this county. We had a young lady up there then, she'll be sad, her name is Bree McGee. Her mom is actually, and I can't think of her mother's name, but her mother teaches a cat team. And Bree serves as what we call a student support coordinator. So that one year we had Marion Middle School. The next year we were able to get funding and grow to go into all the other middle schools and then also the high schools. And then this year, we have been able to secure funding, both public and privately, to expand into all of 13 schools in Smith County, which is, is remarkable. Mr. Arnold, my colleague, he supervises Smith County, which means that he's responsible for these 13 folks that go in. They actually work the same schedule as a teacher. They work the same hours. They abide by the same guidelines of the school district. They go through background checks, before they're actually placed into the school and whatnot. So once that we get these folks in these schools, and I do want to say this, we are currently in 17 counties. We're currently in 115 schools. And as I said, 1 or 2 states. Our heavy load is Southwest Virginia. But we are in 3 school districts in East Tennessee. So when we get these folks in place, these student support coordinators, what we do is we, along with the building administrators, the teachers, the guidance counselors, we identify a minimum of 50 students, and we case manage these students. So what is case management? It means that we work individually, one-on-one with these students, and we help what I like to call bridge gaps that and provide insecurities that so many of our children have in all of our counties. to just basically try to give them more of a fighting chance, to put them on a more even playing field with all the other students. So we are working with these children that are not coming to school. If little Billy's not coming to school, we're gonna find out why. And I should back up and say, obviously, we have parental consent. They sign off, once they understand the program that we offer and whatnot. So we identify kids that aren't coming to school. We identify children that are at risk of maybe not graduating. We identify children that aren't, working up to great level performance. But more importantly, for me anyway, we are identifying children that need basic needs, that need shoes, that need clothing, that need personal hygiene, that is having, maybe their power, their electricity cut off tonight. And we help these kids, and we monitor these kids. We provide, as you'll see in the impact report, we provide a lot of data. So, and again, I'm not gonna take a lot of your time, but I do want to point out some of the things in here, if I may. If you'll just read through just with me, please, as I have made a few notes this morning and last week. But if you look on page 3, you'll see some of the things that I just mentioned a moment ago. That's our welcome. This is who we are. This is what we do. You can see the schools that I just mentioned at the bottom. You can look at the number of case managed students, and I'm not going to, again, go into great detail because I know you're concerned about Smith County, but I know you want to hear what's going on in the town of Marion. That's what I'm going to dive into about stuff. If you'll turn over to pages 4 and page 5, on page 4, you'll see there a much deeper dive into our history and the overview of our organization. And then on page 7, you will see listed specifically, as I mentioned, the 115 schools which we serve. And if you'll notice in the middle column at the very bottom, you'll see all of our Smith County schools listed there as well. If you turn over to page 7, 6 and 7, you'll see who we are. You'll see the model that we use. The model looks very complicated at times, but actually it's very simple. To me, I say it's very simple because we identify kids, we work with kids, and then we look and see, where our results are. Page 7 talks about some of the services that we provide. I'm going to talk more about that once that, again, I start talking about Marion schools specifically. And then if you look at pages 8 and 9, you'll see some of the after-school programs that we provide. One of the most popular and most beneficial, I feel, is the Sesame Street in the Communities program as we offer in some of our elementary schools. We don't offer all of these programs in all of our schools because that boils down to funding. Some of the localities and some of the divisions are better able to provide financially. So obviously that plays a significant role. If you'll turn over to pages 10 and 11, you'll see specifically on page 11 some of the testimonials. As you look through this, again, at your leisure, you'll see testimonials from superintendents. I have to say that your former superintendent, Dr. Carter, who I had the pleasure of working with for, again, my last 5 years in education, has been so gracious to us, not only through the school system, but his service with the Smith County Board, with the Smith County Foundation, that has been very gracious to us. And again, I'll talk more about that later. But Dr. Carter, other superintendents have just, I think once that they see and hear, education is sort of like, a word of mouth. It's better than a billboard. If this county's doing is successful and they talk about it, then, Washington County wants it, Webb County wants it, Floyd County wants it, Grayson County wants it, on and on and on. On page 13, 12 and 13, you can see some of the statistics that we put together. And again, all of this is last school year. You can see the number of family engagement activities. We're very heavily involved in family engagement because we want the families to be a part of the children's education. So family engagements might look like that, we're going to have one of the big things in Smith County is that we do a tailgate night in the fall, football games, where we provide food, or we provide pizza and drinks, and the kids and their families come together, and we do door prizes, and then they get to go to a football game. It varies from school to school, obviously from age level, appropriate and whatnot. But again, you can see all, but more importantly, as I told Ms. Watt before the meeting, I was going through this with her briefly. If you look at the bottom on page 13, it says basic needs. Last year, we provided almost 92,000 different forms of basic needs. Now, this again is through 115 schools of food and clothing and hygiene supplies. To me, that's remarkable. That's and it's not what I'm doing. It's what the folks that are actually in our schools that are actually doing. Again, if you'll turn over on pages 14 and 15, you can see more of the success stories. And then at the end, you'll see our financial snapshot. Last year, we were able through, and I'll talk more about this before I conclude, but our income, you'll see at the top, and then our expenses at the pie graph at the bottom. So having said that, if you will look at, and I broke this down to try to make it as simple as I possibly could, but you've got two handouts that I've stapled together. And if you'll look at the second one on the back, in the second one, should say, this is the data that was compiled from last school year in Smith County as a whole. This is all your schools. So if you look at the first box on the left-hand side, you'll see what says Tier 1 supports. Those are incentives and supports that we're doing for all the children. So we're case managing 50 of these kids one-on-one, but we're also providing incentives for all of the kids in schools. Like right now, for example, March Madness. I don't know how many of you are basketball folks, or to do the brackets or whatever it might be. For March Madness, we've taken that type of concept and we've turned it into an incentive to get kids to come to school. They absolutely love it. So, if the third grade level has the best attendance incentives or has the best attendance for the month of March at Marion Elementary School, then that class is going to be treated to pizza. They're going to get to go to a movie, whatever it may be. And we're paying for this. Each of these student support coordinators, each of these schools, they have their own budget. And that budget is based upon a dollar amount per number of students in that school. So obviously, Marion Senior High School is our largest high school in the county. They're going to have the biggest budget, and so forth and so on. But here again, I do want to point out, if you look at the bottom of that page where it says basic needs provided, last year in Smith County as a whole, we provided 452 children with clothing. We provided 932 children with family food. We provided 19 children with personal hygiene. And we also provided 31 families with other additional assistance. And that again can be things like housing insecurities, electricity being cut off, a family member that might need to be transported to the doctor. It can be so many different things. If you look at the top page, as I guess this I pulled out today. Mr. Arnold was able to provide this for me on Friday. This is the mid-year report. This is what we have done. This is the page here. And this is just for your schools and Ms. White. And I want to thank her for letting me know. I always think of Marion as Marion Senior, Marion Elementary, and Marion Middle. I sometimes tend to forget about Oak Point. But we were talking earlier, and I want to make sure I mention that. But this is what it's showing what we've done from August until the end of the first semester, just in the Marion schools. This is just your schools. So if you look at the top, we've provided 685 clothing items. We've provided almost 2,000 food items. And again, we've provided 665 other assistance. And again, that can look in so many different ways. But the two things that I want to point out, because this is what drives me to really do and come and ask for your all support. But if you look at the very first, the second list, or the second column there, which says back to school clothing. Each year, we have two major funding drives that we do. We do a back to school clothing drive in the summer, and then at Christmas, we do our holiday giving drive. So the back to school clothing drive in just the Marion school districts alone, we spent a minimum of $125 on 123 kids. And that's where Mr. Arnold takes his kids to the shoe show here in Marion. That money stays local. That's where he takes those kids to the Walmarts. That's where we have volunteers that get out and do the shopping. And if we have a child that we are case managing that has a sibling that is not even in school, we're going to spend the same amount of money on that child in that household as we are a child that we might be case managing. Then if you look down at the bottom where it says holiday sponsorship assistance, that's our holiday giving drive. And that kicks off well before Thanksgiving. And that's where we do the same thing again, but it's similar, but it's different in nature. Here we identified, this year, Christmas, we identified 85 families, children and families, and we provided meals, we provided clothing, and here we also want to provide some type of gifts that we don't do, back in the August and the back to school giveaway and whatnot. So again, not going to go through all that with you, but you can see everything that's listed. You can see everything that we've done. And as I've told Mr. King, what I would like to do, respectfully, is I would like to be able to go back, and I would like to, within the next couple to 3 weeks at the very latest, to put together a formal request and ask the council if you all would consider some funding to help us in the areas that I just mentioned. So I will stop there and I will open it up for questions. Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming and talking about the program. How much input do the teachers have in identifying the kids?
They have a lot of input. I don't know if I mentioned teachers or faculty earlier. If I didn't, I should have. I know I mentioned administrators and guidance counselors. The teachers are the ones that, are going to work with those kids, one-on-one. And they're going to know if, little Billy or little Susie's, coming to school and they're not, bad and they don't have this and they don't have that. But, just to answer that question, tremendous.
And how would you define the 1,800 plus food items that you give the kids?
It's tracked through data. Mr. Arnold might want to chime in on this as well. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but anything that we pass out is recorded. We have a computer system called Systems, CISDM. I don't know what that acronym stands for, to be honest with you. But anything that we do, for example, not just food, but his site coordinators that are working, they have to make at least one monthly contact with the parent. They have to make at least one check-in with the student. So any of that contact, any of those phone calls, anything that we might provide, a backpack that goes home, they have to record. It then goes into the system. One of the things that I always complained about is I had to go back and have to audit that, and I'm not the best when it comes to doing things like that, So it's heavily tracked, and we know exactly where our dollar is going. That's a great question.
So it's not necessarily meals, it's.
Oh, no.
It's stuff prepackaged?
It could be that he gets a phone call today from, I mentioned Miss McGee, here's the middle school. And it might be that family needs a $50 gift card. And he's going to authorize her to go to Food City and get a $50 gift card and give to that child. Yes, ma'am. So it's any and all. It's not just, it's not just a, you know, a meal at Thanksgiving or a meal at Christmas.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much for all of your information. Council, do you have any other questions about the privilege? Very well put together presentation. We thank you very much for that. We'll consider it.
Thank you, Mr. White. Thank you. I'll be in touch with you. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you all again. Thank you. Did you?
Next, in our public presentations, we have Blake Justice. He's going to give us an update on the Marion Henry College of Health Sciences. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for allowing me to be here. Always an excellent opportunity, an honor actually to stand in front of the folks that represent the good people of Marion and who meant so much to the School of Health Sciences. I see folks I've worked with on water issues and folks I've worked with on permitting issues and folks who show up for graduation for our health sciences students, even though they don't have a child who's graduating, just because they support our students. They may have adopted somebody. It is good to be a part of this community, and our students greatly appreciate the town of Marion, all that you do. Somebody's probably going to be scraping around with some putting salt down overnight that will help our students get to school tomorrow, and we just can't but tell you how much we appreciate the support of the town of Marion, the greater Smith County community actually, but just wanted to offer some insight into what we've got going on right now. Our student numbers are excellent. We will actually have more students coming in the fall than we had this year. Our numbers are bouncing back up a little bit. So if you know anybody's got a place to rent, be sure to let us know because we're going to have students renting living spaces from you. So like I said, be sure to reach out to me if you've got a place you can rent. We'll put it on our list, let our students know about that. We are gonna, well, let me tell you real quick also about the Henry undergrad. Looks like we're on track there to come close to, or at least maybe equal some of the record new student numbers that we had a couple of years ago. 2023 was a record new student year, and Henry's doing a great job there. I know you've heard about the change in overall tuition rate, as well as I hope the promise plan, which will allow a student who qualifies for Pell Grants to be able to come to school with Henry for about $1,000 a semester. Between the Pell Grants, the VTAG, those kinds of things, we could offer a college education to a young person for about $1,000 a semester. And that's going to really, really open up opportunity in the region, I hope. Also allow us to focus a little bit more on students who will commute rather than stay on campus with some of that. So that might be beneficial for those students as well. But a lot of good things going on at Emory and Henry. Like I said, wanted to just kind of keep everybody apprised, offer some opportunity for questions. I'm now actually officially the dean. I was assistant dean and interim dean when President Fincher took over as president. Now I'm fully the dean of the School of Health Sciences. And, again, if you have questions, if you need something from me, let me know. We offer some excellent opportunity, excuse me, for our facilities. Mount Rogers have a GED prep program that they do on Tuesdays and Thursdays in our lecture hall. We actually are going to have a visit from the superintendent of the state of Virginia, somebody from the Virginia Department of Education. Wednesday this week, they're coming to visit us. Senator Tim Kane's going to come and visit on April the 7th. So we've got some movers and shakers coming around. You let me know if you need to get in on those conversations, and I'll elbow somebody out of the way and let you have a seat about that. Also wanted to indicate that we've got an event coming up on April the 11th. That's a Saturday night called Inside the School of Health Sciences. We're gonna be giving some tours. We're gonna have a catered dinner up there from, I can't remember the name of the restaurant now. It's Your Great Escape, I think, is what it's called. It's a catering organization. But we'd let you have an opportunity to see behind the scenes. I'll take you through the cadaver lab if you want to visit. Most people don't, particularly after dark. But that's fundraising effort we're going to put on April 11th to continue to provide some financial support, particularly for faculty in the way of faculty development. We've got folks on our faculty who are keynote presenters at nationwide conferences, and they are asked to come to those. And not while their registration for those events is often paid, it's not always feasible that their organizations pay their plane fare and that kind of thing. So we have to come up with some money here and there. But we'd love to have you out for that. Like I said, I'm here to also answer questions. If you've got things you want to know and I can't answer them, I will answer them. Kevin Testman will put me in the head like I hope until I've answered everything. But, and I know we can do it. I'm seeing that now. And I should have to.
Thank you. You know how rumors go.
I do know how rumors go.
I have heard several people say that there will be no more OT programs after they finish this year.
That is, I'm so glad that you brought that up because we have an incoming OT cohort for the fall that's greater, that's larger than anything they've had in the last 3 years. And that program also has begun a hybrid program. We've got a couple folks who are currently literally online the majority of the time, and they come about 3 times a semester for 3 days each time they come. Got a young lady, as a matter of fact, who was supposed to come up tomorrow because they were going to do a visit to Smith County Schools for pediatric OT. Not sure she's going to make it up this evening, but we're going to make that up. So we've got a young lady out of South Carolina, got a young lady, if I'm not mistaken, she is from over close to Mount Airy, North Carolina, who are doing a hybrid program. We've got more interest in that. We've got several more students who are interested in that in the coming year. That has been, and I'm glad you mentioned, excuse me, occupational therapy as a whole. There has been a nationwide trend downward on applications to occupational therapy programs. There have also been 72 new occupational therapy programs created in the United States in the last 5 years. So there, with that kind of competition and them not being required to have the doctorate of occupational therapy, they're starting new master's programs as well. Competition's thick. I have a dear friend of Mary Baldwin. Their numbers are a little bit low as well. Keep telling them, your numbers are getting low, and you need to shut that program. And we'll take it off the students that you got, but he won't hear it. But I do appreciate you asking about that program in particular, because that program will continue. Yes, and again, we're seeing our numbers come back up, particularly with the creative things that our program chair has done and put in place to help that program. So I'm glad you asked about that.
Thank you.
What else?
I may add that during the years, I have met dozens of dollars. They've gone on to very successful careers, but absolutely I'll stay in touch with several of them. As, periodically they come to visit, and they've done quite well. So the program speaks for itself.
It does indeed. Go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
I have another question.
Sure.
Do you have any idea how many of your students actually stay in this area after they finish?
We do have some data on that, and I apologize that I don't have that in front of me right now. One of the things we're trying to do is recruit folks to the area. I know we wind up with a reasonable number of students who are from within 35 miles or so of here. And part of the reason they choose to come here for their schooling is because they want to stay here. They want to come back home. I know I can name multiple OT, PT, and nursing graduates who've stuck around. Those nursing graduates in particular do a good job staying within the Valley Health System for the most part. Some of them head up the road to Roanoke, and a few go elsewhere, but they come from elsewhere. But we're actually finding that one of the big draws here is the opportunity for students to engage in rural health. We've got some folks who've come don't have care as readily accessible. And so the free clinic also is a big part of the reason they choose to come and be here and go to school with us, is they can get in that free clinic, they get hands-on experience just like that. A lot of those, particularly PA students, get in there in their first year. It puts them ahead of the other students when they get out onto their clinical year, the full year that they spend. So, yeah, we got good things going on, and our students love it here. I mean, our students really do enjoy being here, and like I said, our goal is to just rope them in. What's not to love about this area?
That's right.
To rope them in and keep them here so that we wind up with quality health care for those who need it, for sure.
Good, thank you.
Other questions?
Thank you very much for representing the School of Health Sciences so
Absolutely, and
well.
again,
And
so-
congratulations
Thank
again
you.
on the official new position.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And again, I just can't tell you how proud I am
We're-
to be part of the community.
We're really happy to have you here, and please come again, keep us informed.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to the events
Absolutely.
that we can attend.
I'm not gonna just walk right out either. I wanna know what else is going on. I'm gonna put a few of these right here.
That'd be great. Let me ask a technical question real fast. We had a little glitch with the power grid. Did that affect us in our streaming?
It appears it's still going. I'm trying to get on here right now to make sure it's still going.
Well, we are currently then recording as it goes anyway, so we will move along. We have public comment time, and we only have one person signed up for public comment, but I may have pulled this a little bit early, so I will give everyone a chance. But right now, we have Robbie Colley that would like to address us.
Thank you very much. Very much appreciate the time here tonight.
Please give us your name and
I am
address.
Robbie Colley at 723 Grace Street in Marion, Virginia.
Thank you,
Near
sir.
Fairground, if you're not familiar with that part of the territory. Start off by thanking you for your service. Appreciate the council of the town of Marion. I know sometimes it seems thankless. It's a tough job, someone has to do it, and I'm glad it's you. Thank you for the live streaming. I hope it gets folks more involved. It's got me more involved as I try to watch it regularly. And change starts at the local level, and if you're not participating, then I don't guess we should complain. Next, my wife and I would like to express appreciation to the entire town of Marion team, including the police department, first responders, support staff, and public works who have kept our streets plowed, salted, and who collect the garbage, and who in extreme conditions often repair and install our water and sewer, and we very much appreciate that. I have three important items and action requests to bring to your attention. Our state, our General Assembly for the Commonwealth of Virginia now has leadership and majorities that are counterproductive to communities like ours. First, the recent legislation imposing strict regulations on firearms owners, enthusiasts, and firearms dealers is in direct violation of our longstanding and constitutional right to keep and bear arms. Be it hunters or enthusiasts, those who are concerned with this, especially like me in times, with our self-defense. I can't speak for everyone, but I can speak for me and my family. What the General Assembly in Richmond is doing is a severe example of government overreach. I request the following. First, designate the town of Marion as a sanctuary community for firearms owners, also for enthusiasts and dealers. Second, instruct our town police to acknowledge and endorse the action by the Smith County Sheriff's Department of voicing unequivocal support for the Second Amendment and for the rights of citizens to keep and bear arms. The Sheriff's Department of Grayson and Washington counties and many others across the Commonwealth have recorded themselves with such statements. I also note the majority in the Virginia Assembly has attempted to exempt themselves recently from their own firearms legislation, which, if opinions are allowed here, speaks very clearly about the type of leadership that is now in Richmond, and which should make every citizen wary of what is in store for us over the next 4 years. Second, a firm cooperation with local and federal immigration enforcement for the safety of our community. Last Thursday, March the 12th, the city of Lynchburg, their city council was unanimous in its resolution to defy the governor's January executive order and ending state cooperation with ICE. I ask you to follow in Lynchburg's footsteps. And finally, April 21st of this year, 2026, will likely go down as a watermark for the Commonwealth. There is a ballot before the voters to temporarily change our Commonwealth's Constitution. This is a document upon which most of the U.S. Constitution is based. Virginia was the first, our authors. This is a blatant effort of gerrymandering and an effort to deprive a vast number of Virginians, all of us, fair and equal representation in the United States Congress. I ask the Town of Marion Council to go on record as opposing this redistricting effort, specifically the language in the ballot as proposed for the constitutional amendment by the Virginia General Assembly. At the very least, please go on record voicing in the strongest terms possible support and encouragement of your fellow citizens to urgently get informed and to vote no on this proposed amendment. Voting yes will start our great dominion down a road from which it will never recover. That's my opinion. Thank you. I look forward to your response. I'm sure you'll make your discussion, actions, and decisions well known to our media and our citizens tonight, or certainly before the next council meeting. April 21st is going to be a bellwether date, and the importance of addressing it cannot be understated. And may I say one more thing? All politics is local, and as much as folks in your position find it distasteful and sometimes very difficult to take a firm position, I suggest in each of these instances, local politics needs to make itself heard all the way to the governor's mansion and into the halls of the General Assembly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for your comments. And now, as I said, I pulled this form a little bit early, so is there anyone else here in attendance that would like to make a public comment tonight?
Yeah.
Before we go any farther, we need to, Avery, just take these under advisement with the ordinance committee probably, these suggestions.
If you wish to make a motion.
So moved.
And you're wanting to, all three of these?
All three.
Yeah, we want to, okay. Do we have a second to Mr. Parker? We have a motion and a second. Okay, and since we're making a motion to send that to ordinance committee and discuss that there, I don't think that there's really any discussion that we need to have, but you're welcome to discuss if you wish. None being heard, all in favor of sending that to the ordinance committee? All right, wonderful. Now,
I'd
Dr.
like to
Watson.
second his recommendation that redistricting is really on its face unconstitutional, and it's just obviously to me a clever scheme to keep power within the Democrats, many of which cannot possibly take an oath to the Constitution and be obeying it, especially the lieutenant governor who swore her oath on the Koran. And the attorney general, the police probably know his road record, his breaking the laws, and to have him as an attorney general is a joke. His dreams are kind of dangerous too, if you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, redistricting is a bad idea. It's unconstitutional. Most everything anybody says about the Second Amendment in the form of putting forth restrictive suggestions that restrict your right, guaranteed by the the right comes from God and your own personal, just human nature to defend yourself. These people are infringing on that right, because I think most of them probably don't believe in God. Certainly a lot of these ones that pretend they are liberals or progressives, they're really Marxists, possibly communists. A governor that worked for the CIA for 8 years is worrisome. Pull up on AI, does the CIA teach people to lie? That's their business, deception. And if you watched her election closely, she said one thing before the election and is going in another direction after the election. So whatever the third point was, I agree with what he said. Thank you.
Doctor, thank you very much. If you wish to approach. David Fulton.
David Fulton, Pearl Avenue. On this ordinance committee, will that be open to the public?
I think all committees are open, aren't they?
It should be,
Mr. Mayor?
unless there's some reason
Well,
to
not
take it
all of them,
into,
Except personnel.
Okay, well, when you decide to have it, will the public be notified so we can attend it?
there is a public notification.
Okay, thank you.
But to reiterate what Charlie's saying, I think Virginia has 12 congressional districts. And if it goes through the gerrymandering, Representative Griffith will be the only representative from anywhere from basically Lynchburg to Kentucky, Carolina, Tennessee line.
Well, I'd be interested in seeing how we discuss that in committee.
Sure.
And we'll move along. We have our council member and committee reports, and we'll begin with Dr. Gates.
Sure. My only report is I visited with Councilwoman Hayes on Friday, and she's doing better and hopes to, start rehab seriously. So just keep her in your prayers. And that's all.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Spencer.
No report.
Councilwoman Jennings.
Yes, I have talked with one of the people who live near where'd Dr. Wassam go? That you were talking about last week, and she's very concerned about the traffic that's flying through there, and I know the police chief has talked to all of the organizations and agencies that use the shooting range, but I was wondering if maybe, if there could be a speed limit sign put on that road. She has 2 small children, and she was uncomfortable coming to talk to everybody tonight. But if we could put a speed limit, I don't know what it would be, what it would be, but there on that road. I just want to know what you all think. I don't know if we can do it even, but I told her I would ask. And
We can certainly put that before Public Works and get their opinion on that. And then also, I'm not sure about how that road would be zoned or what the speed limit would be on that. Does anyone on council have an idea how we would find that information and come up with that? Or would we need to go to VDOT for that?
I don't know. I've talked to Todd and Tony about it, but I don't know. What do y'all, do you know the answer to that question?
It's not a VDOT road.
It's ours, isn't it? Always has been.
Yeah.
My
it's ours.
suggestion to
It's
Kevin was speed bumps, but he says it's rough as a cob already out there.
You can't get any worse.
So if they're flying, they have no regard for their own vehicles, obviously, do they?
I would
So-
think that we could, why couldn't we put a speed sign up?
So if we
Yeah,
take it upon our own,
And we could, since it's our road, I guess you'd look at, it'd be like a town's road, right, 25 miles?
yeah.
It's 25, like Chatham Hill
Like Hill
Road, it's
Street.
25, yeah.
Yeah.
I had this conversation with her on this past Friday, and what she said there were several black SUVs just flying through there just a few days before we talked. So, and she has 2 small children.
Of course, we brought this up on Main Street before when Chief Clare was here. It's a visual thing, Susie. Chief always said that they had checked in the cabin about vehicles that appear to be going much faster on Main Street than they actually were. So sometimes it's optics,
And you know, you can put a sign up there
Yeah.
that says children.
children
Yeah.
at play
Tell-
or
tell-
anything. Yeah.
Put a sign up and
Both, yeah.
put a sign up with children.
That's a great idea, thank you.
So if
We
it's
can-
our street, do you just need
Yeah.
a motion from us to put up speed limit signs?
Just,
I think we could probably just do it with your all's direction. I don't know if there needs, you can certainly make a motion. but-
I would suggest one on each end.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And children at play too.
My suggestion is
there's
let
certainly
Kevin
nothing-
and Andrew and Tony work this out.
Certainly nothing wrong with making a motion to post a speed limit sign to be determined and possibly children playing.
Right, and I'll make that motion.
Second.
Happily.
So, okay, I think that's a good idea. Maybe it will help. Any further discussion about that? And we're going to send that to staff and see what you do there. And I don't believe that you'll need any further recommendations or approval from council. So, all in favor?
Thank
All
you.
right.
We'll get it taken care of and report back.
Okay.
Thank you, Andrew.
And next meeting, Bob Watkins, the executive director of the Lincoln Theater, is going to come and give a public presentation on, just to bring everybody up to date about what the good things and anything, and answer any questions that you've got for the Lincoln Theater.
Okay, wonderful. We look forward to that. Anything further?
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Jennings. Councilman Atwell.
Thank you. So over this past week, I had a discussion with Mr. McNeil from the EDA, and he has identified an issue with a paper street. And during our discussion, I determined that it was something that should be brought forth in front of all of us. So at this time, I'd like to ask Mr. McNeil to come up to the podium and present the issue.
Thank you. As part of the EDA goal to address housing in the town, when meeting with Todd, we discovered that the EDA owns 2 lots on Iron Street. One lot line actually encroaches into an existing house. Between the 2 lots, there's a paper street. Doesn't go anywhere, doesn't benefit anything. And I have a handout. You'll take one. Have a visual aid. So on the recommendation of the EDA, we wanted to come to council and ask that a portion of that street be vacated to the EDA with our plan to take those 2 lots that now exist with the addition of the vacated street and turn that into 2 lots, which could be then subdivided, and we would have 2 lots that would be suitable for development. Either we would put something on it or suitable to sell. The 1 lot, which is on the left, the smaller lot on your diagram, because it encroaches on that house that's there, if we use the 5-foot set off for the side line, there is not enough room to be able to develop that lot. So without the paper street being vacated, that lot cannot be developed. The structures have been removed from those 2 lots, so they are now vacant. The yellow outline that's across the street, those 2 lots, we have removed 2 houses that were there. We've put 2 new modular homes on those lots, and those 2 modular homes are now sold. So it's in that same area, that same neighborhood where we have 2 new modular homes that have been sold.
Good.
So our request is that that paper street, the part that goes up to our lot line, would be vacated to the EDA so that we can further develop those 2 lots.
Would they be buildable if we vacated, Todd?
It's pretty steep in the back, but they've also had some other lots, it's been pretty steep, they've graded them out, where it's all been mobile.
We may need to look at this because we did vacate a portion of a street in that area, and it may have been this particular street.
Have you checked at the courthouse about it? Do you know that it's been vacated before?
I haven't.
Mark thinks it may have, right?
We may have, I could be thinking about a different street off of Iron Street where council did vacate it.
And if you notice on that diagram, that street continues through to Pearl, but it also encroaches upon that next house. That house is accessed from Pearl Avenue, not from Iron Street.
How did they build over that paper street?
The way it would be, just like we do other streets, you can have the EDA buy that street because they would own both sides, so they would be the ones that would have the ability to buy that portion of that street that's being vacated.
That'd be the best thing for them to do is to offer to buy from us for it, and we'd, set a, quite reasonable price, don't you think?
Well, I
Well,
think,
you've got-
I think what we need to do, Larry, is,
Yeah.
as we've done with all square footage, look at the 2 lots on either side, come up with what the lot values are, get the square footage of that lot, because we've done that with all the citizens. You would pay us for that, and we are allowed to donate it back to you
Yeah, we
as a
do that.
contribution to the EDA. I mean, that would be so we're consistent with everybody.
Yeah.
That's what we do with any citizen or 2 citizens that want to vacate a street and we deem we don't need it.
Sounds reasonable.
That's how we've done it in the past. I'll make that motion if it hasn't already been vacated.
I have a question
Okay.
about the encroachment of the home onto the paper street
Right.
and how we would handle that, because
Well,
That's not what he's asking right now.
For council's
now.
information, tax maps are not 100% accurate, so they're kind of giving you an idea. The only way to accurately determine it would be to do a survey.
okay, and before we would actually vacate the street, if it hasn't been vacated, we would have it surveyed, I
We
assume.
would.
Okay. So there's
We would
several.
have the street surveyed. We wouldn't necessarily have that lot line that is on the opposite, on the south side.
But it would be fairly easy from the survey of the street to determine
It should be.
that. Yeah, okay. So I think that probably needs to go before a committee to study, or is there a way that we can just put this in motion at this point?
My question has always been, we've got lots and lots of paper streets, don't we, Tony? What in the world are we still doing with most of them? If we don't have sewer or water running on them or need them for access to sewer or water, can anybody tell me what the benefit of them are? I mean, they're like like over on the farm, there's old wagon roads back through about every farm in Rich Valley, and nobody's ever used them.
Larry,
That's ours.
if no one wants to buy them, they're just paper streets.
Yeah, but I mean, why exist?
Why they exist?
Because we've got liability, appears to
Well,
me, on some of
subdivision.
them with these trees.
It says
Hanging over.
because the property was subdivided.
Yeah,
Unless there's a known danger, we shouldn't have, or we create, for instance, a hole on the property, there shouldn't be any liability.
the trees, what I'm talking about, the one particular gentleman moved here and there's huge trees hanging over on his property that exist on our paper street. So to me, it's like, if you and I got a tree, half of it falls over on my lot, I gotta remove it. But if the whole thing falls over and you own the tree, that's your baby.
So Larry, do we just give it to the citizens?
Huh?
Or do we just give it to the citizens on either side?
Very
I mean, that's the-
very reasonable sum to
Well,
make it legal.
The sum has to be what we've done. I mean, it's just,
But
but if
I'm
they
just
don't want
saying,
it, if they don't want it, Larry, you can't make them buy it.
No, but I think these people would buy it.
Well, then
in
they
this
just
one.
need a petition to close it.
But, it just looks, I looking at it there the other day, it just looks like it's a monstrous tree and
You know,
it's,
if we don't need the
hanging on.
property, then
We don't
yes,
need it.
then they just need to petition us to close
Okay.
it.
That's what I'll tell
Yeah,
them. Just,
we've done it a number of times.
yeah.
Well,
But
this-
I just wonder, it comes up all the time. We've got so many of them.
This does raise a greater question than I believe that we're able to get into now. It's a healthy discussion,
Oh, yeah, it's
but probably this discussion is devolving away from Mr. McNeil's questions and into an area that
Oh, that's
we
fine.
definitely need
But I
to send to
agree, you
committee
know,
and
it's-
discuss with Public Works as well. And I think that that's a conversation for another day. Is there a way that we can proceed forward with this
Well, we
tonight?
need to investigate. I believe these two lots were initially owned by the town of Marion. The town of Marion had acquired it.
I know the one,
Did it.
the small lot was.
So we just need to look to see
Okay.
if we did something at one point to close a portion of that street. If so,
Is that your area, Mr. Fennick? Is that your area or would?
well, I can look into
some-
it, yes, sir.
Okay, then, council, is it okay if we request that
I'll
Mr.
rescind my
Fennick?
motion.
I think restate it now, I about forgot.
Yeah, you might want to restate
Well,
it then.
I was just gonna state that we go through the process we always have, and, you know, it always has to be surveyed, doesn't it?
Right, so what your motion would be appropriate, it's just possible that we could have already done that. If we haven't done it,
If
then
we
your
haven't
motion's
done it, then
appropriate.
if we can have the property surveyed and determine if there are any issues that we need to deal with before the ADA purchases it from us in the normal manner we've always done, then if there are issues, we'll deal with those issues.
So you're gonna rescind your motion?
No,
Well,
that's my
no,
motion.
I'll
He's
second your motion.
restating his motion.
Okay.
So, Councilwoman Jennings is seconding the motion.
Absolutely.
And
Okay.
we're going to go forward with this after we find the answers to these questions.
Sure, I'll work with Mr. Fennick and we'll determine that, and then we'll determine the square footage and a price and
And Samantha, did you, can you read that motion back to us?
Good luck.
That's a joke.
Good luck, Sam.
I'm kidding. We know what we want to do there. If you'll reduce that motion, I think the council understands the motion thoroughly and we know what we want to do with that, so. No. You don't need to. Any further discussion on this? All in favor of Dr. Gates' motion?
Boy, I beat
All in
that
favor?
dead horse.
Okay.
thank you.
Mr. McNeil,
And
anything
again,
else?
thank you for your support of the
Thank you.
EDA.
And
Thank
I've got
you.
a question just for, to make sure in my mind, I know, out of the 10 houses that you all put on different properties,
Yes.
you've sold 5 or 6 of them?
We had 4, there actually were 11 to begin with.
Oh, okay.
We had one extra, there were 11. We own 4 now. One has an offer pending,
Uh-huh,
so hopefully the financing will work, but there's 4 available.
uh-huh.
Hopefully one's gonna,
Through the EDA?
through the EDA.
Yeah, okay.
Good.
Thank you.
So it'll remain 3. The 3 that are remaining, just so you know, are on South Church Street, and one is on Henderson Street. That's the one that has an offer pending.
Okay, thank you. That's good
Good.
work. Thank you.
Anything else?
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Councilman Atwell, we're still under your time.
I'm done.
Councilman May.
No reports, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Carter.
No report.
Okay, the mayor's report, we will continue with the mayor's report. I had a good meeting with the Wellspring Foundation. They have a couple of very good initiatives that I have had a discussion with our town manager about. And I think that there's some good room for partnerships there and a lot of information to maintain. So I'm hoping that we proceed with Wellspring's communication. Other than that, I did want to mention that I as well was able to visit Councilwoman Hayes. I see that she is recovering. I think that she is very interested in what we're doing. And I have brought this before council before about electronic meetings communication, which is in the Virginia Code under 2.2-3708.3, if that is the current code, which we have run into a couple of times. But as we always do adopt the Virginia Code, we do need to adopt this in order to enable Councilwoman Hayes to electronically attend meetings, which I would like for her to do, and she is of a positive mind that she would like to attend meetings and resume her elected responsibilities through this means. That would mean that we would need to adopt this and do the pertinent things to implement it, which is outlined, and I'm not going to get into all the outline there. However, as I have brought this before council before, I would like to see if there is a motion from council to adopt electronic communication.
Well, it has to
Can we
be
do
done
that?
by an ordinance, and the number of times that it can be exercised by a member is limited.
I read into that, Mark, and what I see is that there was a statement for temporary or personal disability that prevents, and that appears to me to be different than the number of times that you can do that for other reasons, such as being outside of 60 miles of the, and also it appears that it's not just 2 times, but it's up to 25% of the entire meetings during the year.
Well, I didn't specify the number of times, but the code.
Oh, okay.
The state code of Virginia, and the state code is 2.2-3708.3, I believe.
Yes. That's the one I'm referring to.
I'd like to refer that to the ordinance committee, Mark,
Yes.
and just have them do some quick research on it and get back with us. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Well, we can certainly do that, and since we have a motion and a second, then it's open for discussion now. I don't want to see this stall out in committee. I would like to do this sooner rather than later, and I'm sure that Councilwoman Hayes would like to become involved sooner rather than later, so I'd want to fast track this committee meeting. And if we're going to send it to that committee, then let's see if we can't schedule a meeting very soon. I believe, isn't Councilwoman Hayes a member of the ordinance committee?
I am, and refresh my memory.
I believe she is.
Yes, she is.
Is she?
Do you want to?
Yeah, I think so.
She,
An interim?
So,
I don't think it'd be appropriate. I mean, she probably,
well, we're not doing this just for her.
Oh, I
We're just
know
saying
that
that
she's
this
a
is
member of
an
that committee
instance,
to
yes.
be on that committee.
So,
Yeah.
this is something that we can
Yeah.
appoint another committee
Interim.
Councilman May, would you be willing to serve on the ordinance committee
Be
temporarily?
glad to, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to send this to committee, and we can go ahead and vote on that, and then we can, I believe I'm under my authority to appoint you as the interim.
You are, yeah.
Okay,
Can I ask a question?
yes.
I mean, I just would like to know what the difference, or is there a difference from what you're reading and what you're reading? Why is
Well,
there a-
I did note a couple of differences than what I had read before. Before, I thought I saw a 2 time per year But that was my assumption, and what I've read on this is that it's up to 25% of the total meetings.
Okay.
But that is under a different part of the statute. What I see for someone with temporary or total disability is that they can attend all meetings and do that electronically.
Okay.
But we'll get ordinance committee. I will appoint Mr. May to that committee with you, Mr. Carter. And if you could get to that sooner rather than later, after we vote that into being. Yes,
Can I
sir.
ask one thing?
Yes.
Is it possible to not do the committee meeting and just us direct Todd by motion to make our ordinance reflect the state code and go ahead and enact it?
That is another possibility, but we have a motion and a second on the floor currently to send it to committee.
I just wanted to know what technology was involved in doing this. That was my only, thing. Is she gonna have a screen? Are we gonna just, or anyone who does it?
From what I've read here, it requires that she can see us and we can see her and we can verbally communicate.
Right, and I just want to know the setup for it, and that's why I referred it to a committee on what's going to be involved. Where are we going to have the screen? What are we going to do about it?
Well,
that's all I wanted.
I think that's semantics, and that's part of our policy that we'll need to establish that would need to come from committee. So
Yeah,
I believe your
that's what I
motion
wanted.
is in order.
That's what I wanted.
Any municipalities you know of doing it, Mark?
I think tons do.
I would have to check. I don't know who uses it, but it's in the Code of Virginia, so I'm certain there are.
I can't think of one.
I would think that would be happening.
Yeah, I would think
Yeah.
it'd be commonplace.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
The issue is that the public is going to be able to hear her conversation with this body.
Yes, she's aware that also that she would be projected on the screen, and she's comfortable with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to know how we do it.
So,
I'm a novice at this. I've never run into it before, so I don't know.
Wonder what she would need. I'm more
That's what I
more
want
concerned
the
about,
committee.
yeah, right,
That's
exactly.
why I referred it to a
What she
committee.
would need, we know what we need.
well,
or
I
anyone
believe
would
that
need.
the IT
Yeah.
department can handle all of that. I don't think that there's any great lift there,
Yeah.
but we'll let committee establish that. So if we're ready to send that to committee, all in favor of sending that to committee? And yes, all in favor. Was that a vote, Mr. Carter?
Yeah, I was just saying, yeah.
Yes, okay.
Todd and I was just trying to figure when we can get together.
Seems like we're all in favor. So motion passes. And we look forward to the committee's results on that. Also, while looking into this, I did observe code 2.2-37082, which is meetings held through electronic communication means during declared states of emergency. Which, if you'll remember in the past, we had a declared state of emergency that was declared by the governor's office during a snow event that we had. And we came to the conclusion that we could not cancel a meeting without a meeting, but it appears that this statute gives us the ability to meet electronically under a state of emergency. Mr. Finn, am I correct in that?
Well, that is that the governor would have to declare it a state.
And, or a publicly announced state of emergency. It also states that in the code.
And
But
we
was
would
it-
have to have that policy in place.
Right. So what I'm saying is that this will essentially cover our ability to cancel a meeting or have our meeting electronically in the event of a natural disaster or something like that, which we didn't have in place before. So this is going to work in two ways. I don't need a motion on this. I just wanted to make you aware of it.
Yeah, well, was the ICE a state of emergency?
Yes, it was declared emergency by the governor of the state of Virginia.
Okay.
But what this is saying, what 2.2-3708.2 is saying is that that would allow members to be available electronically
Without a quorum being physically present, yes.
Right, they're making, we might have 3 here, but 2 by video.
The way that I read this,
That makes your quorum, so not without having a quorum present in this building.
Right.
Those that are present by electronic means create.
does
that quorum.
create the quorum, yes, that's true. So anyway, that might be something that everybody would want to look into, and I'll be glad to share this with you, or you can look it up under the Virginia Code. However, that is all I have under my mayor's report, unless you have questions.
I have a question about
Yes.
that. Art, if that did happen, do these iPads that we have at home, would that be all we would need to do that?
I have no idea.
You'd have to ask Todd.
Yeah, we need the ordinance committees, and they'll look into that, and we'll find out.
Okay. Thank you.
I think this is probably something you can do over your smartphone.
It'd be over the phone or iPad, either one.
Yeah.
It'll be simple and straightforward.
Yeah, it shouldn't be difficult. And if we need the technology committee involved with the ordinance committee, Hunter, I would be glad to join.
You have my full support.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. And as I say, that concludes my mayor's report. We will continue on now, and we have quite a bit of an agenda ahead of us, and I've shuffled my papers to a point where I need to find out what is next. And it's the attorney's report.
No report.
Thank you, sir. We have the staff reports and Samantha White. Okay, everyone has viewed the accounts that we have scheduled for payment. Are there any questions about any particular line items on the accounts?
I'll make a motion to pay the accounts, and then
Oh.
we'll talk about it.
There you go.
I'll make a
Oh,
motion.
yeah.
to pay it. Samantha, on number 37,
We need a second to that motion.
I did.
Okay,
He
we
said-
did get a second?
yeah.
Okay.
37, Sisters Cafe, a refund, did they pay in advance? How does that work?
They just double paid something, accidentally.
Okay, okay,
They just double
They-
paid something and we refunded
okay,
one of the two.
gotcha.
We accepted both and refunded one of the
Okay.
two.
Anyone else with questions?
Do we have 2 different internets? Because line 15 is Comcast and line 31 is Point Broadband.
Yes. Point broadband
Yeah.
was recently installed at all of the traffic lights to work the camera systems.
Okay.
It's about a 65% savings of what we were paying there,
Good.
so it's better coverage as well.
By looking at that Comcast bill, is it possible that we could look at maybe swapping providers for everything to consolidate some of this at a lower rate?
Todd has started testing to see if it's going to work, if the services is good. You can talk some more on that, but he's already looking into that.
Okay.
We've already,
Yeah, that looked pretty high.
Yeah.
yeah.
Number 17, how can that, or that much money be an overpayment on a water bill? Was there,
Donna Day,
yeah, Donna Day on 17?
$620.77.
That was,
Yeah, I seen
so that's a,
Right here.
wasn't her fault, it wasn't her fault.
What's it showing for?
It wasn't ours.
620.
It was a bank error.
Oh, okay, well, that's then, okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of supporting documents to go into the fact that there was a banking error.
Okay, I just thought that was a lot of overpayment.
So because she didn't intentionally overpay that much, we were willing to process the overpayment. Usually people pay extra if they have a credit on their account.
Right.
In this case, it wasn't her fault.
that. That was a little bit too much of a credit.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think
thank
it was
you.
an online payment error.
Yeah, blame the computer.
Yeah.
Okay, and I have a question on number 41, equipment rental. $33,600, what's the time period that covers?
That was probably let's see,
It's a little higher figure than what I'm used to seeing, so I'm thinking that it's covering a couple of different time periods.
I don't know, except unless during the winter event, they just didn't submit the invoice,
That's what I'm saying.
is what I'm guessing, that,
Oh, okay.
if we went back, I would say that's 2 months, and that they didn't submit an invoice the previous month.
Okay.
But I can check into it and let you know.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Do you want to remove it from payment?
No, of course not. No, I just, the figure was higher than what I was used to seeing, so I just wanted to see if, what had happened there. And your explanation is probably
I would
correct.
say that's
Yeah,
probably
so,
during the previous month, actually, we have found often that, twice in the last 2 days, that checks that were written by us to vendors in January still have not been received. So we're thinking the mail just had some trouble during the storms.
run into that personally.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions about the accounts? We have the accounts in line for payment, motioned and seconded.
Are we possibly looking, like what you're saying with checks getting stuck in the mail? Do we look at paying anything online that we can?
We pay some things online.
Okay.
A lot of, they, for instance, that particular line does not accept it.
Right. But ones that do accept it, will we pay it that way as opposed to mailing a
We don't
check?
pay them all that accept it. We do pay some
Oh, okay.
that accept it,
Okay.
not all.
All right, so are we finished discussing? All in favor of paying the accounts? And it is unanimous. We will pay the bills. Anything else, Ms. White?
That's all, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Chief Testerman, I apologize for my gap before.
No problem.
But you get so many things in your head, you know?
Absolutely. Just to update you a little bit of things that's been going on. Been a busy first part of the year. I'm proud of our guys that the job they've been doing, suffer just this tremendous cold out here as they were suffering. So the guys, they all showed up and they performed well in all the nasty weather we had. I'm gracious for everything they do. This past week, we had Lieutenant Taylor to graduate from the FBI Lead-Up program, and that consists of three 4.5-day-long schools. And you also get college credit for taking these classes and stuff. It's put on by top-tier leaders throughout the country. Myself, Lieutenant Taylor, and Lieutenant Billings all have it also, have the FBI Lead-Up Trilogy, and that gives us an agency trilogy as well. There's not many agencies that do have that, and we had lost it when John Clare left, but since Lieutenant Taylor was able to take this and successfully complete everything, it gives us back to our trilogy award. During this, I mean, it's SLI, which is basically kind of the starting point for supervisors or wannabe supervisors, and then you take the CLI, and it's your mid-level command staff type people or leaders. They're like your sergeants and some lieutenants and stuff. And then you have the ELI, which is executive leader level leadership. And with that, it teaches you how to be a leader. It's common practices that you learn, and the instructors are phenomenal in explaining everything to you. And you have a lot of open discussions and classroom workshops in there where you learn a lot about yourself and your agency. It's a really good training, and I'm honored that we're back to having the trilogy for the department. And also, we've had, Probst, Officer Probst, he completed the defensive tactics training, and I've got to say, you know, I hadn't refreshed my defensive tactics for 25 years, and he's going to refresh us all in modern techniques and skills that are supposed to be a lot safer. And for for the offender and the officer, so I'm looking forward to him rolling out his program and getting everybody a refresher. It may hurt a little bit more getting off the mat now than it did 25 years ago, but I'm sure we'll suffer through it. And Finney has also participated in the FBI lead-up we was talking about earlier, and I believe he has one more class to go before his trilogy, and we're getting some really top-notch training in our agency, and I'm gracious that you guys support us in being able to go to these classes, because it's like $950 for a class, so we're really thankful for you guys for letting us take that. And that's the end of my report, unless you have any questions.
No, absolutely. We need to train our officers and as much as we can. That's better for everyone. So
Absolutely.
we're glad that they want to do this.
Right.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, you're welcome. And, I'll throw in also the shooting range. I know that's been a topic, so I've worked with other agencies, let them know that there doesn't need to be any speeding going on out through there. Everybody needs to drive appropriately. And I've been assured by the other agencies that use the range that they will not let that go on. And they've worked with us and scheduled. We have scheduled pretty much from the beginning of the year of what and when and where somebody's going to be out there. So sometimes it may change during the year, and they'll let us know either to take that week off or to add a week, or just, oh, I don't need this day. This day, you can take that off to the range dates, but we may need this day. So we work year-round with these agencies and making sure that it's scheduled, and we have a good working relationship with them. And I'm sure they want to do everything they can and in their power to still be able to use the range.
Chief, could you identify certain days for that to happen, or for it to be used, or would that impede some of the training that you have?
Generally, what they do is they'll turn in their itinerary for the year and what dates they need. And like I say, that changes. Sometimes something may throw them back behind where they're a day or two behind in training and they need the range another day. So, they do work with us well.
Yeah, okay. But thank you for helping us with that.
Any other thing?
Chief, thank you very much for everything you do, keeping us safe.
Thank you.
I see that you're approaching the podium.
Yeah, I told Ken I was going before him.
Okay.
So I was reading the code that Mark said, and Mark is right. As far as electronic meetings go, Ms. Hayes could use her iPad that she's already got as long as she's got a Wi-Fi connection. Talking to Chris about, if we could find a room for some other kind of monitor where the public could see her. I don't know how big it could work as long as she, there's a camera there so she could see everybody here. I think that's something possible we can do if council wishes. I missed something. I heard my name. I was talking to Dr. Wasson back here, something about checking speeds, or maybe that was for you, Todd.
No, it was me.
What was it? What was the question?
I asked if we were looking at other providers as far as the internet, because the Comcast bill's pretty.
We've
pretty high.
already changed. That was a pretty interesting conversation with Comcast. We were their biggest customers in Southwest Virginia. I know they hated to lose us, but they lost us, so.
So is this bill that we just paid the last time that we're paying?
That, for the 13 locations for traffic cameras, yes. The last one we paid for those locations are. Now, there's still some legacy costs like voice over IP phones, stuff like that we're not really ready to tackle yet because it was such a hassle getting those installed and getting them working correctly. I'd say eventually we'll switch everything over to Point Broadband. That's who we're with now. The thing about Comcast was, we had every department, every SCADA, every location, every site, everything is under one thing, because we were thinking as the IT department and billing, it's just easier to pay one provider as opposed to 4 different providers. The problem with that was every time we would get another site added a contract. And it was so hard to keep up when those contracts expired. The last time before the last contract expired, I spoke with him and said, could you all let us know? We've just got too many sites, too many contracts started at different times. And what Comcast was notorious for was when your contract expired, the cost of that more than doubled.
Our church just went through that.
And they got a retention program here. And, they've been trying to schedule several meetings with us. And, I just told them, for somebody who's your biggest customer in Southwest Virginia, you might try to figure out a way to get around this to keep your services here. But yeah, we've already changed out to point broadband. It seems to be working fine. We've got symmetrical connectivity now. We've got the same upload as we got download. And it seems to be working fine. The next thing I wanted to address is if Mr. Fennick finds that nothing has been done with that right of way on South Iron Street that Mr. McNeil was talking about, if it pleases the council, I'll work with James to come up with the cost that Mr. Gates was talking about. I've done it several times here over the past 2 or 3 vacations that we've done. So if the council wants me to work with Mr. McNeil, if that needs to be done, I'll be more than happy to do that.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's all I've got, unless you got any questions.
Nope, sounds good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
If anyone's asking why I was speaking with Tony, I was just observing the temperature outside and the snow continuing to fall, which I want to urge everyone to be safe tonight and don't push yourself past your limits.
So we're gonna camp out here.
Call the pizza man.
You got it.
Ooh.
Your Honor, I got 2 loans for you, and then also a reminder, Youth Government Day is this Thursday. It'll be here in these chambers. If you're able to make it up here, we'd love to have you. I've asked the mayor to do a welcome, and then each of the department heads will do a little presentation. Looks like we're gonna have about 12 students. I'm not sure whether that's down or up from years past, but then we'll feed lunch at noon. So if you can't make it to anything else, please come and eat with us. It's a good chance to interact with the students. Tonight I have 2 loans in front of you. Loan 63 and loan 64. Loan 63 is for Amanda Livingston. They had the bakery that was open next to Marion Outdoors. The bakery was there, they left. They've had that space empty, and they've decided they want to go in and do a coffee company with bagels and sandwiches and things that they're going to run, and they've asked for a loan. Their credit certainly fits, and it has been approved by the loan committee. The second loan is Brad Mullen to Army-Navy store, and if we have to camp out here, he'd have the stuff to provide for us. And he's looking to expand his product lines and restock after the winter, and he's asked for a loan too. So that would be loan 63 and 64. Both fit the criteria. Both have been approved by the loan committee, and I'd like to do those separately if we would, please. The first one being loan 63 for Amanda Livingston in the amount of $15,000, 2% interest for 60 months.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Thank you.
Motion and second with the recommendation. All in favor?
Thank you. The second loan will be loan number 64 for Brad Mullen, Army-Navy store. Same time, same terms, $15,000, 2% interest over 60 months.
I'll make that motion to
Thank you.
approve.
Second.
Thank you.
Motion and second, and of course, with your recommendation. All
Thank
in
you very much.
favor?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to have the town manager's report. He is not 100%, so we're not going to ask you to go into all these things that you have on your report, sir. If you want to skip your report, that's fine. We appreciate your attendance, and anything you want to say, make it brief.
Yeah, I would like to go ahead and cover what I've got here, excuse me. So wanted to update on SERP. We haven't done that in a while because we were kind of inconvenienced by the weather in January and February. But SERP has completed the Gross Close Street Sewer Project. And once the weather fully cooperates, we'll start the asphalt patching there. Water meter update. We have just purchased the remainder of our 1 and 2 inch meters. Those will be the radio reads, and those will be in hopefully within 8 weeks, or 2-3 weeks. Okay, quicker than what we were initially quoted. So we'll be able to close out all our 1 and 2 inch, and then we do have a few of the larger sizes, 4 inches and up, and we'll be phasing those in when we can to completely clean that project up and have everything on a radio read going forward. We have received the quotes to replace the 4 county sewer meters, and we're in the process of deciding where they need to be. And these will, we may need to change the location of some existing manholes in the event we based on where the placement is, excuse me. Our SERP crew number 1 has begun excavation installation on new water lines on Meadow Drive. Market Street Sewer Project. We're working with VDOT on that and how to handle traffic while installing the sewer line around Interstate 81 and the off-ramps. Tony's been in a tremendous number of calls and meetings with VDOT to get that taken care of. Then lastly, wanted to touch on Public Works. We've got an RFP out for the street paving contract. We've been in touch with W&L, and we'll be hopping on that just as soon as we can. But we're working on a schedule right now for the money budgeted for spring paving. Our bids came in for the cemetery mowing at Round Hill. There were 2 bids submitted. We're going to interview both folks and see where we want to go as far as allocating that job. If y'all have any questions, I'll be happy
Andrew
to-
or Tony, with the paving bids, I mean, if I were bidding it now, with oil prices way up, I mean, it's gonna be way up, but 2 months from now, they could be down. Is there any contingency for the price of oil in that?
I think they probably factor in that it's not gonna stay up. I mean, in the past, it really hasn't reflected that much. Guess we'll see April 7th. That's when the bids come in.
Yeah. It'll, if the straits open up, it'll be down.
So if there's no further questions for the town manager, Andrew, thank you very much for your report. We will continue with our closed session. And Councilwoman Jennings, if you'd take us into closed session.
Sure. I make a motion, we go into closed session and to discuss 2 issues. One is personnel appointed positions as allowed under State Code 2.23711A1. And the second one is a real estate acquisition and disposition as allowed under State Code 2.23711A3.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion about going into closed session? All in favor? We will return to open session after closed session.
make a motion, we come back into open session and discuss, and declare that we only discuss the two appropriate topics, and that's allowed under State Code 2.23712.
Second. We have a motion to come out of closed session and a second. All in favor, and this is a poll.
Carter,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Howie,
Yes.
Jennings,
Yes.
Spencer. Yes. Bates,
Yes.
Burnett.
Yes.
Thank you.
Marion Town Council is now in open session. Is there business to come before the Marion Town Council? Do I have any motions?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor of adjournment? Marion Town Council stands.